You need one of those things that's like start.
Yeah.
Save number 2.
Okay, so this is a continuation of what you watched on the video. Okay, what does it mean when lines are parallel?
Never
They
touch.
never cross each other. So if you're talking about graphing them, they never cross, which means they have the same slope. So when lines are parallel, they have the same slope. Okay, what does it mean when two lines are perpendicular? They cross at what kind of angle?
Right.
They cross at a 90-degree angle. So they're perpendicular, which means they have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, opposite means you change the sign. Reciprocal means you flip it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write equations of lines that are going to be parallel and are going to be perpendicular. I think I left off on number 10 on the last video, but I'm not sure. We're going to assume I did. Okay, and for this purpose, when I talk about A and B, I'm gonna have parallel be A and perpendicular be B, because that's also what you'll see on your homework. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna write a line that's parallel to this line and goes through this point, and then we're gonna write a line that's perpendicular, that is perpendicular to this line and goes through this point. Okay, in order to do that, you need to know the slope of this line. So how would I find the slope of that line? Okay, you have to solve for y. So I have to subtract 4x. Then what? Divide by negative 2. So this equation is y equals 2x minus 3 over 2. So what is the slope of this line? 2 over 1. Good. Okay, so if I want to do a line, now, I don't know how many of you watched the video, but there's 2 different ways you can write lines, like how you can get it set up. I'm going to go with the way I liked it the best, which was the second method that's on the video. Okay? So if I want parallel, that means I'm going to use this same slope. So this is going to be our point and our slope. So I use point slope form. So I do y minus, then I need the y number from the point. So the y number, it would be 1 equals your slope, which is 2. And then I have x minus, and then I need the x point. What's the x point? 2. Okay, then you would distribute. So I have y minus 1 equals 2x minus 4. And then to solve for y, I would add 1. So I have y equals 2x minus 3. Okay, so that's parallel. Perpendicular, you're still using the same point. Okay, so we're still going to use the point 2, 1. But now I need the opposite reciprocal of 2. So opposites when you change the sign, reciprocal is when you flip it. So opposite reciprocal of 2 would be what? Negative 1/2. Okay? The rest of this is set up the same way. So it'd be y minus 1 equals, then instead of 2, we'd have negative 1/2 times x minus 2. Okay, then I would distribute. So y minus 1 equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. And then I would add 1. y equals negative a half x plus 2. So the first one's parallel, second one will be perpendicular. It's because you don't want to be on the... Okay, we're going to do another regular one, and then we'll do... Yeah. Another regular one, and then we'll do the specialty ones, where you have an undefined slope and then slope of 0. Okay? So, the point for this one, we use 2.5, 6.8. And for the line, we'll use x minus y equals 4. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is find slope of the line. So you're going to solve it for what variable? For y. Okay, so we would subtract x. So negative y equals negative x plus 4. And then what?
Divide by negative
Divide by
1.
negative 1. It's alright to talk, guys. So I have y equals x minus 4. So that means my slope is 1. So for part A, we're going to do parallel. So I'd have y minus, I want the y number. So my point, the y is the second one, so y minus 6.8 equals, parallel means same slope, so we're going to use this number 1. And then I'd have x minus the x number from the point, which is 2.5. Okay, then we would distribute. I'll distribute the 1. So y minus 6.8 equals x minus 2.5. And then I would add 6.8. So I have y equals x plus 4.3. Okay, for perpendicular, what's the opposite reciprocal of 1? Negative 1. Good. So I'd have everything set up the same way, except for my slope is going to be negative 1. So I would distribute. So I have y minus 6.8 equals negative x plus 2.5. And then I would add 6.8 to both sides. So I have y equals negative x plus 9.3. Okay, any questions over, these are what I call the normal ones, where you actually solve and get a real slope. Everybody's okay? Okay. Yes.
Can I go over those up?
You want to do it in here?
I don't want to feel that, no.
Okay, these are going to be your specialty ones. We'll do one of each kind. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, what I mean by specialties, these are when your slopes are either undefined or when your slope is 0. Okay, so how do I know on number 13 that my slope is undefined? Okay, well if I look at my line, is there a y here? No, so if you have x equals a number, that automatically means if there's no y that your slope is undefined. So that means that this is a vertical line. So if I want a line parallel to a vertical line, I'm going to need another vertical line. So that means on my parallel, I'm going to have x equals. Okay, then if I look at my point, which number is my x number, the 2 or the 5?
2.
The 2. So that means my line is x equals 2. Okay. Perpendicular to a vertical line would be a horizontal line. Horizontal lines are when you have y equals a number and you don't have x. So for my perpendicular, I'd have y equals. Okay, which one's the y number?
5.
5. So y equals 5. So these actually require less work. It's just remembering which one's which. Okay, but if you know what you started out with, that one has to be the same. This one's going to be the opposite. Yeah.